Good Friday evening, everyone. I just wanted to give you an update as promised on the latest with this winter storm. And I'm going to start with a graphic that we use in intro to meteorology quite often. Normally, temperatures decrease with height. Okay, that's why the top of a mountain is colder than the bottom of the mountain. But that's not always the case. Whenever a storm system is moving in and we have cold air here at the surface, storm system moving in from the west will try to pull up warm air from the south. Okay. Cold air is very dense. It's very heavy. It's hard to move out of the way. Warm air is very light. It's very buoyant. Okay. It likes to rise. So it's easier to push that warm air up and over the cold air, at least initially. And so that can cause you to have a variety of precipitation types. So we start over at the right-hand side. If we're cold from the surface all the way to the cloud base, it's all snowflakes, okay? But as you start intruding that warm air, as we move to the left, snowflakes melt, turn to a raindrop, but the cold air at the surface is still thick enough to where it has time to freeze into a sleet pellet, okay? Moving further to the left, that warm air is even thicker. Snowflake melts, the raindrop stays liquid all the way to the surface, freezes when it touches something that's below freezing. Okay, that's when you get your freezing rain, your glaze of ice. If we're warm from the surface all the way up, then we get plain rain. So we're going to experience all four of these from Sunday through Monday at various times and at various intensities. And that's the part of the forecast that we have to really focus on. So the USA mortgage level of concern for Sunday will be level 3. Okay, so for hazardous travel conditions until at least noon. So Sunday will be a meteorologist marked weather alert day, as will Monday be. Now, I've made this graphic where to show you the greatest impacts from some freezing rain, where I guess you could say most concerned. So you see that bright yellow line there stretching across northern Overton County. Northern Fentress County includes most of all of Pickett County and Clay County, and then drops southward to our east. Okay, anything north of that line is what I'm most worried about with getting closer to that 0.2 inches, 2/10 of an inch of ice. It's when you get to a quarter of an inch of ice, which is 0.24, is that you would be most you'd start seeing impacts to power. Okay. So you guys are getting close now. Winter storm watches are in effect for all of the Kentucky counties, okay? And that's with the Weather Service erring on the side of caution, okay? They probably won't see ice storm conditions all the way down to the Tennessee-Kentucky border, but the Weather Service is going to say, you know what, you guys need to prepare just in case. So Cumberland County, you know, we're still most of Fentress County, most of Overton, Putnam, White. We're looking at a glaze of ice that will impact travel, okay? Now, why do I have an area to our east in concern? Well, sometimes that cold air that I said is very dense, very heavy, very stubborn to move out. Sometimes it gets stuck in the valley, okay? And those warm southerly winds that push our cold air out of the way just run over the top of the cold air that's in the valley, okay? So that can cause a longer duration freezing rain event, okay? So just be aware that anything pretty much along and north of I-40 in East Tennessee, that includes some of you all in Morgan County, and includes most of you all in Scott County, you may get closer to that 0.2, which is awfully close to a quarter of an inch of ice, which could be more impactful. But there is a big question mark about that. So, but that's something to kind of keep in the back of your mind. But again, for the rest of us, looking at a glaze of ice that would be highly impactful to travel, but we're not looking for impacts to the power grid or tree damage and the likes of that. At least not at this point with the data that we have and all the data that's come in from days ago all the way up until now. So Premier Generators brings us our M&M's expected impacts, and I didn't change this graphic much from this morning. I did make the high risk to travel in the red there. I did make that bar longer, you may notice. And then we still wonder how early does the precip move in, because that would cause a thicker coating of glaze. But by noon, many of us, if not all of us, should be in plain rain, okay? North of that yellow line that I had on the map before, from Livingston to Jamestown to Oneida and points north, you may stay below freezing until at least 2 p.m. There are indications that the rest of us might go beyond noon as well. I'll keep a close eye on that. But travel should be improving. Conditions should be improving after the noon hour. Anything before noon, though, I wouldn't fool with it. Um, Midnight Sunday to close to 6 a.m. Monday, and probably closer to 6 a.m. Monday, is when we start seeing a slow transition back to snow. And then throughout the day on Monday, we should see snow showers, snow flurries with light accumulation possible, if not likely. And the big question there remains, how much moisture will be left over? So M&M's forecast snow amounts for Monday, I did put in yellow there, low confidence, because that question mark of how much moisture is left over and when exactly do we drop back to freezing? Okay. It's going to rain Sunday evening and night. It's going to be heavy at times. Okay. May even hear rumble of thunder. Severe weather expected to our south. Temperatures are going to be in the low 50s up to southern middle Tennessee. So temperatures will rise through the night Sunday night. I do keep forgetting to mention that. I know some folks are like, oh no, we're barely getting above freezing on Sunday and now it's going to drop down below the freezing Sunday night. No, southerly flow and that approaching storm system will cause temperatures to either remain steady or rise overnight Sunday night. But yeah, severe weather to our south in Mississippi, even tornadoes, probably going to happen. The Storm Prediction Center is thinking about even raising their risk in tomorrow's outlook. So anyway, so back to us on Monday. I've said all along, we usually get 1-2 inches of snow on the backside of these systems. I still continue to feel that way. I'm still like I was yesterday, leaning more closer to the inch mark, but we'll see. So you see the percentages there. Just know that I'm thinking around an inch of snow for Monday, but stay tuned. So the snow day forecast remains at 50% because of my uncertainty of when do we drop back below 32 degrees and how much moisture is left over. I did teeter with going to 70%, but in the end, I'm going to park it at 50-50 right now. So more than likely, if you get out Monday, you're probably going to get out Tuesday because Lord knows nothing's going to melt between Monday and Tuesday. It only gets colder, as you see on our Clearview Closet and Blind 5-day forecast. You see that tomorrow's fine. Okay, prepare tomorrow. Whatever you need to do to, if there was something you were going to do Sunday, do it tomorrow. Getting into the low 30s, but we're partly cloudy. It's okay. Okay. That mess on Sunday and Monday, and then Tuesday, look at that. Once we go below freezing Monday night, we're not going to get back above freezing until maybe Friday. So a long duration sub-freezing temperature event. We've been talking about this Arctic air for the longest time. But yeah, we're going to be getting cold. Look at that, 9 degrees Wednesday night. So be prepared for that. Now I had a few notes. So dry air is going to be in place tomorrow and tomorrow night and in the Sunday morning. It may take a while to moisten up that dry air, which could delay the onset of precipitation, which would be a good thing because it would limit our glaze. Okay. And then another thing. So the warm air moving in aloft that I showed you on that very first graphic. Sometimes the height of the plateau, we're 15 to 1800 feet above sea level. Sometimes we're up in that warmer air. So that can help us out with ice accumulation. So that's something else that we'll pay attention to. If it does start out as snow Sunday morning, it could be the bigger, prettier flakes because they'll be kind of wetter because it'll be getting really close to transitioning into more of a sleet, freezing rain situation. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there. I'm keeping a close eye on everything, folks. I'm watching that data as it rolls in. I'm watching those models religiously and keeping in mind what we normally get around here from situations like this. If you're traveling north, don't. Kentucky is in big troubles with weather, and anything north of there, it's going to be terrible. So check your travel plans before you do that. So I'll be watching everything. You all just stay tuned, stay warm. I'll do special updates as needed from now all the way through the event. You just keep it right here, meteorologistmark.com.